All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Lalema Aneja Dang, and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Biotech Startup Expo 2022 in New Delhi this morning. Expo to showcase applications of biotechnology in healthcare, agriculture, industrial biotechnology and other sectors. Cabinet approves increase in MSP for various Kharif crops. Prime Minister stresses India and Iran should work to accelerate exchanges in the post-COVID era. Banking, industry and finance experts welcome RBI's half-yearly policy decisions. President Ramnath Kovind to address annual convocation of IIM Jammu today. In Assam, 2 new ministers to be inducted into the Council of Ministers. India saves over 41,000 crore rupees in foreign exchange by using 10% ethanol blended petrol, says Minister of State for Environment Ashwini Kumar Chaubey. European Parliament votes to ban sale of new petrol and diesel cars by 2035 to fight climate change. In sports, Haryana again takes the lead in the medals tally in Khelo India Youth Games, followed by Maharashtra and Manipur. And in T20 cricket, 5-match series between India and South Africa begins this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi and address the gathering this morning. The Biotech Startup Expo 2022 is a 2-day event. Our correspondent reports that the event has been organized to mark the completion of 10 years of setting up of Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council.
The theme of the Expo is Biotech Startup Innovations towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is being organized by the Department of Biotechnology and Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council BIRAC. The Expo will act as a platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, industry leaders, scientists, researchers, bio-incubators, manufacturers, regulators, government officials and others. About 300 stalls will be set up at the Expo, which will showcase the applications of biotechnology in various fields such as healthcare, genomics, biopharma, agriculture, industrial biotechnology, waste to value, clean energy, among others. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved increase in minimum support price for all intended Kharif crop for marketing season 2022-2023. Briefing media in New Delhi yesterday, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said the approved rates are at least 1.5 times of the All India weighted average cost of production. He said the highest absolute increase in MSP over previous year has been recommended for sesamum at 523 rupees per quintal, moong at 480 rupees per quintal, sunflower seeds at 385 rupees per quintal, tur urad and groundnut at 300 rupees per quintal, cotton medium staple at 354 rupees and cotton long staple at 355 rupees. The minister said it will lead to greater investment and production. It will also provide assured remunerative prices for farmers and will help in achieving the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
पिछले 8 वर्षों में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बीज से बाजार तक दृष्टिकोण के कारण भारतीय कृषि ने नई ऊंचाइयों को छुआ है और सरकार ने किसानों को विभिन्न जोखिमों से बचाने के लिए, आय में वृद्धि करने के लिए और सूचना उनके घर द्वार तक पहुंचाने के लिए ढेरों कदम उठाए हैं। बीज से लेकर मिट्टी की सेहत तक, बीमा से लेकर सिंचाई तक, न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य से लेकर बाजारों तक एक व्यापक दृष्टिकोण से हर कदम पर किसानों का सशक्तिकरण हुआ है। मोदी सरकार के निर्णय किसान कल्याणकारी योजनाएं किसानों की आय बढ़ाने में और उनको राहत प्रदान करने में भी बहुत सफल सिद्ध हुई है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the government has taken an important decision in the interest of farmers who are dedicated to the service of the country. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said the decision to increase the MSP for Kharif crop will empower crores of farmers of the country. In another decision, the Cabinet has approved increasing the authorized share capital of the NSIL from 1,000 crore rupees to 7,500 crore rupees.
The union government has rejected media reports that rate of TDS on virtual digital assets, VDA, has been reduced to 0.1%. The Income Tax Department has clarified that the rate of TDS on VDA continues to be 1%. The visiting Foreign Minister of Iran, Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi last evening. Welcoming the dignitary, Mr. Modi warmly recalled the long-standing civilizational and cultural links between India and Iran. They discussed the ongoing bilateral cooperation initiatives. The Prime Minister stressed that both countries should work to accelerate exchanges in the post-COVID era. Mr. Modi requested the Foreign Minister to also transmit his greetings to President Ibrahim Raisi and looked forward to meeting him at an early date. Later, in a tweet, Mr. Modi said he was happy to receive the visiting minister for a useful discussion on further development of centuries-old civilizational links between India and Iran. He said, "Our relations have mutually benefited both the countries and have promoted regional security and prosperity." Earlier, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held wide-ranging discussions with his Iranian counterpart. They reviewed the bilateral cooperation, including trade, connectivity, health, and people-to-people ties. Both sides acknowledged the significance of bilateral cooperation in the field of regional connectivity and reviewed the progress made at the Shahid Beheshti Terminal Chabahar port. They agreed that the Chabahar port has provided much-needed sea access to landlocked Afghanistan and has also emerged as a commercial transit hub for the region, including for Central Asia. They reaffirmed their commitment to continue to cooperate on the development of Chabahar port. Teams from both the countries will be meeting soon to address operational aspects.
Minister of State for External Affairs Meenakshi Lekhi will be on a 6-day official visit to the Kyrgyz Republic and Kazakhstan starting today. During her stay, Ms. Lekhi will have official meetings with dignitaries of the governments of the Kyrgyz Republic and Kazakhstan to take stock of the state of bilateral relations and to exchange views on regional and international issues of mutual interest. The visit will also focus on deepening of cultural cooperation between India and the two Central Asian countries. Some bilateral agreements or MOUs in the fields of culture and development cooperation are expected to be signed during the meeting. The minister will meet representatives of the local Indian community and Indian students in the two countries. She will also take part in special yoga events as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Banking, industry and finance experts have hailed the RBI's hike in policy rate. They said that it is on expected lines. State Bank of India Chairman Dinesh Khara said the policy statement is a comprehensive assessment of uncertainties and is an affirmation of the coordinated policy action by the government and the RBI to thwart the dangers of inflation. He added that enabling more headroom for urban and rural cooperative banks for financing the housing sector will bring about a level playing field in the cooperative banking space, while linking RuPay credit cards to the UPI will add more avenues and convenience for customers. Indian Bank's MD and CEO Shanti Lal Jain said a hike of 50 basis points is likely to curb inflationary pressures, coupled with a series of measures by the centre like reduction in excise duty on petrol and diesel. He said relaxations in cooperative banks will help in financial inclusion. Mr. Jain added that measures like enhancing the limit of e-mandate and linking UPI to credit cards will help in digital penetration. On a similar note, Cluster CEO, India and South Asia markets of Standard Chartered Bank, Zarin Daruwala said the ingenious move of linking credit cards to UPI will reduce transaction costs and increase acceptability. He said it will augment India's world-class payment system. The Confederation of Indian Industry CII President Sanjeev Bajaj said that the RBI's concern on containing inflation is appreciated, given that it is impinging on the margins of businesses and also hurting consumer demand. The central bank yesterday announced increase in the repo rate by 50 basis points to 4.90% in its half-yearly monetary policy. The rates were increased by 40 basis points at an off-cycle meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee.
President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 2-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir from today. He will address the 5th annual convocation of Indian Institute of Management, Jammu, and pay obeisance to Goddess Shri Mata Vaishno Devi, situated in Trikuta Hills. The President will be the chief guest on the occasion and will be delivering the convocation address today. Union Minister of State in PMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha will be the guests of honor on this occasion. The President will visit the holy cave shrine of Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Ji, situated in the Trikuta Hills, tomorrow. A total of 214 students, including 77 female students, will be conferred with a Master of Business Administration degree this year. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma will expand his Council of Ministers today by inducting 2 new faces. First-time BJP legislator Nandita Garlosa and Political Secretary to the Chief Minister Jayanta Malla Barua will be sworn in as new ministers. The oath-taking ceremony will be held in Guwahati at 3 in the afternoon. With today's expansion, the size of the Council of Ministers will be extended to 16. The Chief Minister is also likely to change the portfolios of few ministers after the expansion.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Biotech Startup Expo 2022 in New Delhi this morning. Expo to showcase applications of biotechnology in healthcare, agriculture, industrial biotechnology and other sectors. Cabinet approves increase in MSP for various Kharif crops. Prime Minister stresses India and Iran should work to accelerate exchanges in the post-COVID era. Banking, industry and finance experts welcome RBI's half-yearly policy decisions. President Ramnath Kovind to address annual convocation of IIM Jammu today. In Assam, 2 new ministers to be inducted into Council of Ministers. India saves over 41,000 crore rupees in foreign exchange by using 10% ethanol blended petrol, says Minister of State for Environment Ashwini Kumar Chaubey. European Parliament votes to ban sale of new petrol and diesel cars by 2035 to fight climate change. In sports, Haryana again takes the lead in the medal tally in Khelo India Youth Games, followed by Maharashtra and Manipur. Indian shooters Manish Narwal and Rubina Francis win gold in 10-meter air pistol mixed team event at Parachuting World Cup in France, and in T20 cricket 5-match series between India and South Africa begins this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग। आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता। बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
जन जन ने निर्णय लेकर भारत की सूरत बदली है। कदम कदम पे जनता मोदी जी के साथ चली है। 8 साल में हमने संभव को संभव कर डाला है। दबने उगे सूरज का देखो पश्चिम में भी उजाला है। साथ गई अब दिन आएगा भी तो ये बस भोर है। ये भारत का
The Government of India in the last 8 years has been moving forward with determination to not only conserve the cultural heritage of India, but also to spread its fragrance all over the world. Our correspondent reports that the celebration of 75th anniversary of independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, is inspiring youth to get inspired by the ideals of our freedom fighters.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
The entire nation is celebrating the 75th anniversary of independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. On Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's 125th birth anniversary, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that his statue will be installed at India Gate to honor his contribution to the independence movement. Until the installation is completed, a hologram of Netaji is being projected at the site of the statue.
ये प्रतिमा आजादी के महानायक को कृतज्ञ राष्ट्र की श्रद्धांजलि है। नेताजी सुभाष की ये प्रतिमा हमारी लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं को, हमारे पीढ़ियों को राष्ट्रीय कर्तव्य का बोध कराएगी, आने वाली पीढ़ियों को, वर्तमान पीढ़ी को निरंतर प्रेरणा देती रहेगी.
The world's tallest statue, the Statue of Unity of Iron Man Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, was dedicated to the nation as a tribute to his tireless efforts to unite India. The 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi was celebrated with great pomp not only in India but across the world. Azad Gallery, dedicated to Krantivir Chandrasekhar Azad, is the first gallery in the country to display every revolution from 1857 to 1947 at the Allahabad Museum. PM Modi inaugurated the Biplobi Bharat Gallery at Victoria Memorial Hall, Kolkata on 23rd March 2022. This new gallery will showcase the contribution of Indian freedom fighters in the freedom struggle of the country. The reconstructed complex of Jallianwala Bagh Memorial was also dedicated to the nation. Through such initiatives by the Modi government, youth of the country are being inspired to emulate the ideals of the freedom fighters. Anuj Sharma, AIR News, New Delhi.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
The 9th of June is the death anniversary of the brave son of the soil, Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Bhagwan Birsa Munda belonged to district Ranchi. His early education took place in the German mission school at Burj, Chaibasa.
In 1890, he went to Bandgaon, where he came in contact with the zamindars. He left Bandgaon area in the wake of the mounting Munda Sardars agitation and led a number of rayats of Sirgida to Chaibasa with a petition for the remission of their forest dues. In 1895, Bhagwan Birsa Munda launched his movement against the British.
He declared that the reign of Queen Victoria was over and that the Munda Raj had begun. He gave orders to the rayats not to pay rents as their lands were free. The Mundas called him Dharti Aba, father of the earth. It was said that he had supernatural powers of turning the bullets into water and that he knew the mantras to drive away evil spirits, to cure the sick, to revive the dead.
With his increasing popularity, the British government got panicky, and in the midnight of the 24th of August 1895, Bhagwan Birsa Munda was arrested while he was asleep. He was sentenced to 2 years of rigorous imprisonment. After being released from jail, Bhagwan Birsa went with his followers to recover the records of the Munda rights.
By the end of 1899, he reappeared with his legendary magical powers to invigorate his followers, the Birsaites. Bhagwan Birsa Munda's longtime companion, a Munda woman named Sali, was instrumental in mobilizing tribal women into this movement.
Approximately 7,000 men and women assembled around the Christmas of 1899, heralding the Ulgulan, which soon spread to Tamar, Basya and Ranchi. In January 1900, the entire Munda community was up in arms and the revolt rocked the British administration to such an extent that the commissioner felt compelled to declare a reward for the arrest of Birsa.
Subsequently, on the 9th of January 1900, British forces heavily attacked the congregation of the Munda warriors at Sail Rakab Hill near Dombari, killing several Birsa followers, while Bhagwan Birsa Munda escaped to the hills of Singhbhum. The police started an extensive search operation and arrested many of the Birsa followers.
Bhagwan Birsa himself was arrested while asleep at Jamkopai forest in Chakradharpur on the 3rd of March 1900 and was put into prison. On the 1st of June 1900, the Deputy Commissioner was told that Bhagwan Birsa had contacted cholera, and the jail superintendent, Captain A.R.S. Anderson, started treating Bhagwan Birsa.
Bhagwan Birsa Munda's health improved till the 7th of June, but on the 8th of June, he suffered a relapse and died in the jail on the 9th of June 1900. His dead body is reported to have been cremated near the Distillery Bridge at Kokar in Ranchi. AIR News salutes the great freedom fighter Bhagwan Birsa Munda.
We also remember Martyr Hari Kishan, who belonged to Northwest Frontier Province, now in Pakistan. Hari Kishan participated in the non-cooperation movement in 1920s and in the activities of the Naujawan Bharat Sabha and Khudai Khidmatkars. Joining the revolutionary movement thereafter, Hari Kishan took the governor of Punjab to be the symbol of British oppression in India and decided to assassinate him during his scheduled address at the Punjab University Convocation on the 23rd of December 1930.
At the appointed hour, he did fire at the governor, who somehow managed to survive with injuries. He was arrested immediately and put on trial and sentenced to death. Hari Kishan was hanged in Miawali jail on the 9th of June 1931. We salute the brave son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Gujarat tomorrow to participate in Gujarat Gaurav Abhiyan program. He will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of development initiatives worth about 3,050 crore rupees at Khudbel, a tribal region in Navsari district. The Prime Minister will perform the Bhumi Pujan for 13 water supply projects for residents of Tapi, Navsari and Surat districts worth 961 crore rupees. Minister of State for Environment, Forests and Climate Change, Ashwini Kumar Chaubey, has said that use of 10% ethanol blended petrol has led to a saving of over 41,000 crore rupees in the foreign exchange for the country. Addressing an online event yesterday, Mr. Chaubey said India recently achieved 10% ethanol blending target 5 months in advance. He said the next target is to achieve 20% ethanol blending, and it is projected to be completed by 2025-2026. The minister said it is a great step towards reducing the country's fuel imports and carbon emissions.
European Parliament has voted to ban the sale of new petrol and diesel cars by 2035 to step up the fight against climate change through faster development of electric vehicles. Members of Parliament yesterday rejected an amendment that would have allowed some auto emissions from new vehicles after 2035. The European Union Assembly voted in Strasbourg, France, to require automakers to cut carbon dioxide emissions by 100% by the middle of the next decade. The mandate would amount to a prohibition on the sale in the 27-nation EU of new cars powered by gasoline or diesel. All India Radio has increased the duration of its Persian language service from the existing 1 hour 45 minutes to 3 hours every day. In a statement, the AIR said programs in Persian language will be available to the listeners daily in the morning and evening. According to it, listeners can tune in to AIR at 17,675 kHz frequency to access Persian 1 service in the morning from 9:30 to 11 Indian time. To access Persian 2 service in the evening from 9:30 to 11 Indian time, the listeners can tune in to AIR at 9620 kHz frequency. Persian service will also be live streamed on AIR World Service, YouTube channel, News on AIR app and DD Free Dish 8 added. In keeping with its mandate of reaching out to the regions across the globe, AIR's External Services Division currently broadcasts in 17 languages every day.
In Khelo India Youth Games, Haryana again took over the medals tally, winning 30 gold, 23 silver and 34 bronze medals. Haryana has won 85 medals so far. Maharashtra slipped to second position with 26 gold, 25 silver and 22 bronze medals. Manipur retained third place, followed by Tamil Nadu. Punjab is presently at fifth place in the medals tally. In cricket, the five-match 2020 international series between India and South Africa will begin today. The inaugural match will be played at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi from 7 this evening. Rishabh Pant will lead India in the T20 series following designated skipper KL Rahul getting ruled out due to a right groin injury. Themba Bavuma will take command of the South African team.
In badminton, Lakshya Sen has entered the men's singles quarterfinals of Indonesia Masters Tournament in Jakarta. He defeated Rasmus Gemke of Denmark 21-18, 21-15 this morning. In women's singles, PV Sindhu will play her pre-quarter final match later today. She will take on Indonesian Gregoria Mariska Tunjung.
Indian shooters Manish Narwal and Rubina Francis have won gold in the 10-meter P6 air pistol mixed team event, the third for India at the ongoing parachuting World Cup in France last evening. The duo of Narwal and Francis outscored Chinese pair of Yang Chao and Min Lee 17-11. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Manish and Rubina. He said in a tweet, proud of Manish Narwal and Rubina Francis for winning gold.
And now let's have a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have strong surface winds during daytime. Minimum temperature was 29 and maximum should be 44 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have rain or thunder showers towards evening. The temperature will hover between 29 and 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai and Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. In Srinagar, one or two spells of rain or thunder showers are expected. Jammu is likely to have mainly clear sky, while Leh and Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. Itanagar will have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain. Kohima, Shillong and Aizawl will have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Almost all newspapers have carried the EMI story on front pages. EMI set to go up as RBI hikes rates 50 basis points to curb price rise. Forecast for GDP growth steady at 7.2% is the Times of India headline. Cabinet approves hike in MSP for Kharif crops is the Hindustan Times headline. Thousands of Kashmiri Pandits listed up for the annual Mela at Kheer Bhavani on Wednesday on Jeshta Ashtami, reports the Asian Age with a picture. The National Highways Authority of India creates Guinness World Record for laying 75-kilometer roads in 105.3 hours. And finally, the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, has been ranked the world's best research university in the recent QS World University Rankings. It's a Business Standard report.
And now the headlines again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Biotech Startup Expo 2022 in New Delhi this morning. Expo to showcase applications of biotechnology in healthcare, agriculture, industrial biotechnology and other sectors. Cabinet approves increase in MSP for various Kharif crops. Prime Minister stresses India and Iran should work to accelerate exchanges in the post-COVID era. Banking, industry and finance experts welcome RBI's half-yearly policy decisions. President Ramnath Kovind to address annual convocation of IIM Jammu today. In Assam, 2 new ministers to be inducted into the Council of Ministers. India saves over 41,000 crore rupees in foreign exchange by using 10% ethanol blended petrol, says Minister of State for Environment Ashwini Kumar Chaubey. European Parliament votes to ban sale of new petrol and diesel cars by 2035 to fight climate change. Haryana again takes the lead in the medals tally in Khelo India Youth Games, followed by Maharashtra and Manipur. Indian shooters Manish Narwal and Rubina Francis win gold in 10-meter air pistol mixed team event at Para Shooting World Cup in France. And that's all we have for you in the morning news. Have a nice day.